Welcome everybody to the C20 Summit. I'm very happy to be here. I'm the German Sherpa for Chancellor Merkel, and I'm very delighted to be able to speak to you. This is clearly extraordinary times. I understand that a virtual summit is something which is very important, and I'm very grateful, and I think it's very important for the whole G20 process that this summit is taking place. I know we would have all hoped for a physical summit, but given the situation, I think this is very good. I think it's also very important that the C20, the voice is heard. We do have difficult times. I think multilateralism is something which is very much needed given the situation in the world, and I think having a C20 voice, and I want to encourage you to speak loudly, I think is something which is very important. Secondly, I think we have a number of outreach in the G20, and Germany had the presidency in 2017, and we've been following through over the years with these outreach process, the Business 20, the Labor 20, the Science 20, Think 20, Urban 20, Women 20, Youth 20. But I do think that the C20 with a civil society, which is very encompassing in its format and its membership, is truly one of the most remarkable processes. And I do hope that this year will be a very successful one for you and for us. I think you can have impact really in three areas. I think the first one is having impact on the summit itself through the input on the agenda. I think that's very important, and we at the Sherpa level very often also have these outreach present at some of the Sherpa meetings, and Germany is certainly very supportive of having strong impact from these outreach process onto the agenda of the G20. I think the second issue which is very important is accountability. I've been doing this now for almost 10 years, and I think that a number of things which have been committed and achieved, and many of them successfully, require accountability. So I think not just announcing new things, but actually following through on things which have been done in the past is very important. And I think the third element is the network and the partners and the corporations. So networking into the community, which is after all what the outreach is meant to be, is very important, and that's, I think, a very important third element needed. The priorities for Germany are very clear and very strong. We believe that the G20, and that will be our input also into the process, is very urgently needed. I don't think that the G20 and the C20 is less important because times are difficult. I think it's more important because times are difficult. I think the idea of public goods and global public goods is a very strong one, is a very important one, and the summit, I think, will of course tackle the health situation. We've already one statement by the leaders on health, and I think having a multilateral universal response to global health and global challenges like the Act A initiative, which we support very much in Germany, is very important. Other priorities for Germany is gender equality, climate issues and climate protection is in Europe generally one of the absolute key priorities, and also issues of trade and economic independence and interdependence, including tax issues and debt relief issues, for example, in Africa, is a very high priority for us. In terms of global institutions, I think we need to also preserve those institutions. And let me just mention to you processes and institutions, I should say. And the Agenda 2030 is clearly one of the pillars of the G20. So we hope to continue to having an impact there. And then there are other issues such as, most prominently, the Paris Agreement, also the future of the WTO and the WHO, which of course has gained importance and relevance as we have gone through this extraordinary time. So let me, in conclusion, thank you again for organizing that, assure you that we are listening to you, and that Germany will push forward many of the issues which you're discussing. A small little bit of piece of advice in the end: when you make recommendations, make them short, make them crisp, make them manageable, and make them precise. I think the better and the more focused decisions and proposals are, and policy proposals are, the more they will be heard, I think, and the more will be understood. So thank you again. Very much looking forward to strong civil society. We will hear you, and I wish you, in the name of the Chancellor and the name of Germany, a very successful summit. Thank you.